Welcome to New York's Divine Channel. You can have it all. I am so excited about this show today. The Goddess Warrior Queen. She's confident, she's healthy, she's happy. She is enjoying self respect and the respect of others around her and building a legacy. Yes. And I am probably the perfect person to talk on this topic because I failed miserably at it for a long time. And then I figured out what the mistakes were that I was making, and over time was able to correct them and then become very successful at all of these things. So I always know that somebody who has attempted to do what I am working on doing now and has failed at it, but then succeeded at it is the perfect teacher for me, because I want to know what to avoid, where where the bombs are to avoid, and then where all of the pluses are and all of the good that I can make sure I be a part of, that I become a part of. So today I'm going to be sharing that with you. I'm going to be strongly speaking from my heart, of course, channeling like I always do. I'm really pumped about this topic. Make sure that you take some notes today, and we are going to just dive right in. And welcome everybody. I see so many wonderful faces here. I see Luna, I see Ness, Jessica, Laura, Marty, Stephanie. I see Marilyn, Kristen, Karen, Susan, Caleb. Awesome. Fabulous, fabulous. Okay. So the title of this show, Goddess Warrior Queen. Marilyn, see you there too. Hello. If you're able to put your camera on, that's awesome. If you're not able to, that's understandable too, because I know some people are tuning in from like a work site and they're just listening like it's a radio more than a TV show. So whatever you can do is totally cool with me. And you are witnessing Activated Goddess Warrior Queen this morning, because I have had to take several steps to make sure things keep moving smoothly. And so I know this all energetically happened so that I speak so strongly from my heart and don't gloss over things. I've noticed that a lot of people who follow our work and who come into my TV show and are students in our academy and are taking our courses, and they're coming to the conference in August and all the great things we have going on. I've noticed that everybody, when I ask them, likes the strong approach from me. So I will say, hey, could I have said that softer? Could I have been more gentle? Would it have helped you to transform or shift your perspective? And I have so many people tell me, no, honestly, Camille, had you just been like la 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 la, like, you know, having that very monotone talk, they said I wouldn't have really woken up. It wouldn't have awakened me to that point that you were making. So I'm like, well, good thing, because I don't even know how to do that anymore. But I did at one time do that kind of thing. And it didn't get me anywhere, by the way, in my own personal life, as well as in my professional life, where I was trying to be that perfect person that everybody approved of and everybody liked. And I avoided conflict. I never wanted to advocate for myself. I never wanted to advocate for anyone else. I just wanted to kind of be a wallflower and blend in. I didn't even want to be noticed. I didn't want anybody to have anything to say. I actually did not like that I was taller than all the other girls in school and grammar school. I hated that I was like the second tallest, because I always had to be at the front, because back when I was going to grammar school, they had this crazy idea to line up all the girls in one line and the boys in another line, because it was a parochial Roman Catholic school. And it was lined up tallest to shortest every day. Like, you knew your spot. So I was always second in line. My best friend, Kelly, was first in line. She was taller than me. I was so happy she was taller than me that I didn't have to be first. And then the shortest all the way down. And so I thought that was perfectly insane, but that's how they did it. And I just wished that I could be the shortest, because no one ever looked at the back of the line. They only wanted to know who the tall giants were. Okay. I'm so thankful now that I'm tall. Not that I'm saying that we can't be successful short. We can't, I mean, but I've now been able to embrace all the things about me that in the past I did not like. So it's really more about that. It's like I've noticed why things that I used to not like are useful. And I've decided to make lemonade out of lemons instead of just cry about what I don't like about myself. Right. But what I am here to talk about is that if we're that codependent person, that's a people pleaser, that's seeking approval, that doesn't ever want to be disliked, always wants people to like you, never is going to you're going to avoid conflict. You're going to swim downstream with the current. You're never going to swim upstream against the current. If you want to be that person that everybody thinks that you're perfect and you've never said anything wrong, you've never done anything wrong. If you're trying for that, well, first of all, you'll never succeed. It's a failing goal. You will not get through this life without somebody thinking you did something wrong, that somebody didn't like what you said. You can be the most perfect wallflower and you can blend in, you can even dress like the same color as the wallpaper and you'll still be noticed and they'll still have something bad to say about you, about how you weren't talking enough. I used to be called stuck up in high school because I wasn't talking a lot. So in my freshman year, they would go, "Oh, you're the stuck up girl." And I'm like, what on God's green earth makes you think I'm stuck up? What did I do? They said, "Well, you're beautiful and you never talk. So you think you're better than us." I'm like, no, I am trying to be as good as you guys. And I guess beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I feel like an awkward geek, but hey, thanks for the compliment. Really appreciate all the kind words, but no, I'm not stuck up. Why don't you hang around me and get to know me for a little while? And you'll find out I'm probably the least stuck up person you'll ever meet. Why don't you give me a chance? And I had a fight for my friends. I had to say, please just give me a chance to get to know me. I promise you in the next 3 months, we'll be friends if you're a good person. But if you're a shitty person, we might not be one. Now, guess what? I didn't say those things out loud back then. I thought them in my head. Now I'm the one that will say that out loud. But back then, when I was the wallflower, a wallflower that's seeking approval, that never wants to have anybody think badly of you or have something to say, would never speak up for themselves like that. But I did speak up for myself and say, please just give me a chance. That I did say, but not the other part. And if I had my day back, I would go back and say that. Okay, because I learned a lot from my mistakes. In my first marriage, back when I was 22 years old and I got married to my son's father, I was a Stepford wife. I basically was a puppet, whatever he told me to do. And he was older than me. So whatever he told me to do, thank God I didn't marry like a really horrible person. Or geez, I would be probably locked up in jail because I probably would have followed along because I just wanted to blend in and be liked. Right. So thankfully, I did marry a guy that had a lot of good going for him. We didn't end up figuring out how to be a happily married couple, but we did end up figuring out how to co-parent an amazing son. So I'm thankful for that. But the Stepford wife literally would push the grocery cart, but I wasn't allowed to put anything in the grocery cart. And I didn't even fight about it. I was just like, okay, I just went along. I was told to wear overalls and I wore them. Like who can even imagine me enjoying being in overalls? I don't enjoy them at all. I like fancy clothes. I like curling my hair. I like putting my makeup and my jewelry on. And I like being a girl. I didn't want to wear white overalls that if you're going to go fishing or if you're a painter and you need to put tools in everything or whatever. And then I was asked to go shopping at the mall in them. And I did because I just had to make him happy. And I was miserable while making sure he was happy. Okay. And all it did was end my marriage because at one point, all of a sudden I had a birth of a son who needed some help. He had medical stuff. I could no longer placate this bullshit anymore. I basically told him to go fuck himself. I got to take care of our kid now. And that didn't work very well. So basically, Stepford wife vanished when Supermom arrived on the scene. And I thought you would appreciate that. And you know what? That's actually the best thing that ever happened to me. I started to understand that when you stand up for who you are and what you believe in, that's how you create an amazing life. That's how you create happiness. I didn't know that when you just go along with everybody else, you start physically dying. It actually starts causing you to have an early death. You will start having autoimmune disorders. You can end up getting cancer. You can end up getting all kinds of fibromyalgia. I ended up having that. All these crazy things happen when you are a people pleaser and all you do is seek approval, try to get along with everybody, make them happy. Who cares about your happiness as long as they like you? And then you find only happiness in the fact that they like you and they've approved of you. And that's your only goal to being happy. Okay, get rid of all that if you're doing that. And if you're not, bravo to you. Congratulations. I'm not going to assume that everything I talk about today is something that you need to do, because I'm sure a lot of you have a lot of this figured out. And you're probably looking for one or two really important nuggets that you're going to take away from today. Okay. So just be watching for those one or two nuggets, because we're going to break this down now. Goddess, warrior, queen. It's in that order for a reason. They have to happen in that order. Now, number one, goddess. What is a goddess? If you look up the definition in the dictionary, a goddess is a woman who's adored for great charm and beauty. Now, some of us, especially women who have decided I'm going to be independent and I'm not going to be told how to dress, how to act, blah, 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 blah. I can open my own door. I don't need a man to open my door for me. All of this feminism, right? There is a place for that. I certainly agree with you. I mean, for crying out loud, I think it was only 50 years ago that we as women were allowed to have a bank account in our own name here in the United States of America. And if you want to fact check me, you can. So sadly, it took us a long time to even be able to have our own bank account. 100 years ago or 120 to be able to vote, but then another 50 to 70 to be able to have a bank account. I mean, how crazy is that? So I am totally all there with you. I mean, for crying out loud, I'm married to a woman. You know that I'm there about women. However, I am the perfect person to tell you this. Embrace your femininity, your goddess self. If you want a great life, if you want to be confident, healthy, and confidence comes from succeeding, by the way. You want to be successful in your life. Your confidence comes when you're succeeding at achieving your goals. When your bank account is nice and high and you did what you wanted to do to get the money, not what you didn't want to do. When you were able to do soul alignment work, when you were able to fully be pleasing to yourself and fulfilling to yourself in the execution of whatever that you had to do to fill your bank account up. And you didn't have to go do some shit ass job that you hate to fill up your bank account, or something illegal, God forbid, or something that defiles your body. I know prostitution is legal in Nevada and other places, but maybe you love it. Okay. If you love it, then do it. But if you don't do it. Okay. Don't do things you don't want to do to make your money. Do things that you feel good about, right? So if you are able to fill your bank account up, if you're able to have the hours off that you want, the time in your schedule that week to be able to do a balance in your life, if you want to be healthy and happy, if you want to have self-respect for yourself and have others respecting you and be building a legacy, and a legacy doesn't have to be built by business ownership. It sure is great if you can do that. But some people, business ownership is not their thing, and that is okay. You can have a job and build a legacy for your family. You can do it whatever way suits you and makes you feel great. But in order to be a goddess, warrior, queen, you're going to end up being a confident woman who's healthy and happy and is enjoying your self-respect and building a legacy. Okay. And with that said, you need the three things to happen in this order. So yes, guess what, girls? I'm going to tell you something. Yep, you notice Camille likes doing her hair and her makeup and her wardrobe, and she's got all her jewelry on and everything. This is a uniform. Mark my words. When I'm not at work, I don't have this shit on. This is my uniform. It is my battle suit. You have to go to battle in life to get what you want. If you work at McDonald's, you have to wear the McDonald's shirt with the McDonald's hat. If you're a nurse, you have to walk into the hospital with your nursing outfit on, and your little name tag is on the left or the right. I forgot which side. And it says RN. Or if you're a doctor, it says MD after your name, or NP, nurse practitioner. We've got Brielle over here, a nurse practitioner. She's got her uniform on. Thank you for demonstrating this. She's got her proper outfit on for her job. Okay. Well, guess what? There is a proper outfit for having a great life, for having everything that you want. And you are going to have to show up at times in your life in uniform and dressed as a goddess. You don't have to do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days out of the year. No, you do not have to. But you are going to have to pick. And of course, I'm going to show up on TV dressed as a goddess. And I know some of you don't care. Some of you would probably still love me, even if I came looking like, no makeup, no hair, just kind of sloppy, came out of bed. I'm sure you would still love me. But would I inspire you? Some of you, yes. Some of you would go, geez, how is she so successful looking like shit? That might inspire you. Or maybe I inspire you that I completely am good with my down wholesome self. But in life, you need to stack the deck of cards in your favor. That means you don't know what they're looking for. And a lot of people like to say, well, I don't judge people by their looks, but actually they do. And they just don't even have enough self-awareness to know that they do. Now, I know that some of you in this room are completely good at not judging people by their looks. You're not going to do it that way, and that's okay. But I need to stack my deck of cards in my favor that I am going to have the best outcome possible. And all it takes is, what if the next person that is going to give me my next biggest break in my career shows up on my TV show today? And what if I don't look the part, so they don't offer it to me? I have to be ready. I'm in my wardrobe today based on the uniform, based on my priorities of what my goals are in life. And a lot of you don't realize that you need to embrace your womanhood, and you have to have your charm and your beauty. But charm and beauty does not mean that you're a crying princess. I used to be a crying princess. I would be crying because life was going horrible. And then I had no self-love. So I couldn't even put my makeup and hair on because I didn't feel like I was worthy to have my makeup and hair on. I actually went through a stage like that. Some of you guys probably don't believe me. And it lasted for a long time, like several years. And it was like I was punishing myself because I didn't think that I was worthy, because I had made some mistakes in life and things weren't perfect. And I finally had to get over that through the practice of self-love and allow myself permission to look fucking amazing. Okay. So every once in a while, you're just going to have to do it. So when you know that you want something from wherever you are, you want an outcome, a particular outcome, dress the part. And don't have this new age bullshit woman thing. And me, married to a woman, I'm allowed to say this. Stop being an asshole and going, well, I shouldn't have to look good to get what I want in life. Too bad. That's how it is. People are inspired by somebody who's got everything put together and looks good. And it's also just easier on the eyes. It's motivating. So yes, do your makeup, put some on, do your hair, put a nice outfit on for when you're doing things, like when you're showing up at events, or when you're showing up at work. Like I noticed Brielle, she had some makeup on too. I know it's not required. Brielle, I know they don't tell you that along with your uniform, you have to wear makeup, right? But Brielle, I bet you get treated a lot better at work when you have your makeup on than when you don't. And I want to ask you a question, and just be honest with me on a scale of 0 to 100%. Mm-hmm. What percentage better do you get treated overall when you have your makeup on versus the days when you don't come with your makeup on?
To be honest, I never not wear makeup at work.
There you go. Because you probably did once or twice. And how did that go over?
Well, I just don't feel like I look like a doctor of nursing practice. I need to show up. And I also personally don't like the way I look without mascara on at work. I feel like my eyes are open more. And I do notice that when I have more makeup on or I'm dressed up more, patients are more like, oh, you look really nice today. And it is what it is.
Yep. And so it's just a tool. Thank you, Brielle. Mm-hmm. So I always say it's just a uniform and you don't have to like it. For crying out loud, do you think those people that are going to McDonald's with their McDonald's hat on like their uniform? No, they like it because it gives them a paycheck. They get a paycheck and then they build their life with it. That's why they like their uniform, not because they chose, oh, I can't wait to wear the hat with the golden arches on it. I mean, there might be some people who like it, and all the power to them if they do, but I can tell you most people probably aren't like fantasizing about the uniform. They're fantasizing about the results that they get. I will be able to pay my car payment. I will be able to drive down the road in a car. You know, these are the things that we're focused on. It's a tool. Ladies, wearing your makeup and your hair and your wardrobe and your jewelry is a tool. It's like a hammer or a drill. Come to work with your tools. And, you know, sometimes you have to wear your work tools even to events that aren't considered work, because you know that maybe you want a love life and maybe you would like a certain kind of person to like really enjoy you. And you're like, I've met women who want their husband or their man, the man they're going to find, to look really good, but then they don't want to look good. And I'm like, don't you think that's a double standard? Like, if you're requiring him to be of a decent amount of weight and health and appearance, don't you think you should give him the same gift in return? Or you're being a selfish bitch. I'm here to tell you you're a selfish bitch right now. You're going to have to get over yourself. And I've literally said that to people before. I know some of you who know me pretty well are like, yep, she has definitely said that to someone before, because you know that if we don't speak our truth, we're not going to succeed in life. So that's number one, goddess. Get your fucking goddess wardrobe on, girls. It's your tool. It's your uniform. Use it to get what you want. Number two, warrior, goddess, warrior, queen. Once you've got your outfit on, your uniform, that's the goddess part, your uniform. Now you put your warrior on. That is a brave experience, according to any definitions that you look up. A brave, experienced soldier or fighter, experienced in warfare. Yes. Don't run around calling yourself a goddess, warrior, queen unless you're ready to go to war. What kind of war am I talking about? I'm talking about when all of a sudden your mind is going into depressionville and your anxiety is disabling you and you can't get off the floor or out of the bed to get yourself out to go either out dancing with your friends because you have too much anxiety, or out on the date that you thought you wanted to go on, but now you're too disabled emotionally to be able to go, or show up at work, or show up at the big speaking engagement because you've gotten certified as a speaker, but now you're too afraid to go and do the speaking that you got certified to do, or whatever it is. So what you're going to war with yourself and with, in my opinion, with the Antichrist. And that's my opinion. Okay. You're going to war with all the negativity, the darkness in life that wants to hold you down, because you're going to have to look it in its face and say, I'm going on faith, not fear. Okay. And the word experienced and brave, because you're going to have to do it for a while before you get the results. You don't just do it for 5 minutes and go, well, that didn't work, Camille. Hello, get with it. This has to become a pattern now, a daily pattern. And also, what else do you have to go to war with? People who treat you bad, even if they live under the same roof as you. Okay. You're going to have to go to war with your kids if they're mouthing off and being disrespectful. And I don't mean war like you're going to kill them. What I mean is you're going to correct it. You're not going to just sit around like a wallflower hoping everybody just treats you right, because they're not going to. The best people in life still will take advantage of you if you don't have boundaries. So you have to be able to tell off whomever you've got to tell off and say, listen, like, I'll tell you what I just did this morning before my TV show. There was some people creating some problems in my home. I told them to all go fuck themselves. My TV show is starting at 11 o'clock. Get out of my way. Stop your drama. We have to continue running this business. People are counting on us. They're waiting for us. Everybody shut up, sit down, and behave. That's what I told them. Yes. You do have to do that sometimes. And you know what? They know I love them. They know I would also die for them. They know that I would walk across the planet barefoot bleeding if that was the only transportation to be by their side if they were sick. Yes, they know that too. So when you're a goddess warrior, you're going to fight for them, you're going to protect them, and you're also going to tell them off when necessary. You can't just sit around being you know what? And I'm Sicilian Italian, and you're seeing all of it right now, okay? And I'm not telling you that you all have to turn Sicilian Italian to be a warrior. You don't have to, okay? I used to just dumb it down and just go into a box because I wanted to be liked and I wanted people to approve of me, and I didn't want anyone to have a bad word to say about Camille. And as a result, I was ending up dying. I was becoming sick. My bank account was on zero. So was my gas tank of my energy. I had no energy. I could barely function because I didn't let myself out of the box to say, hey, I love you to pieces. I can't wait to see you tonight, but stop your fucking shit right now. And yeah, I love you. I mean, you can actually tell people you love them and tell them to go fuck off all in one sentence. And if they know your heart, they know you mean business. They know that, you know, there's only a few people in this world that I'd be willing to die for. And those were the people I was telling off this morning. Okay. Because they know I care about them. They know that if they texted me or ran in the room and said, oh my God, you know, so-and-so needs help, I would stop the TV show and I would go take care of them. I wouldn't keep running the show if somebody fainted in my house or had some kind of a, you know, medical problem, or if somebody just like, if my wife just got a phone call that there was a death in her family, I would go, guys, I got to go now. Bye. And I'd hang up and I'd go attend to her. I would be right there by her side because she just found out that a family member died. But since that's not going on and people were acting crazy, I told them to all shut up, sit down, and behave yourself. And I'll be done with my TV show in a little while, and then we'll talk about it when I have time. I don't have time right now. The show must go on. And, you know, you have to get more willing to protect what you're supposed to be doing when you're supposed to be doing it, and stop letting people pull you around on a puppet, like a puppet string. You're not a puppet. Don't let them make you a puppet. Okay? You have to, as a warrior, you have to be brave, and you have to go and fight against warfare. And in my belief is that sometimes darkness tries to come in, or the Antichrist, or whatever you want to call it, tries to rain on your parade. And they do it through other people that are close to you in your life, people who you love oftentimes. And all of a sudden they're going to get this mental thing going on. And they're like, I'm a failure. Oh, I can't succeed. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. What did your GPA look like? You are not a failure. Get your head on straight. Let me tell you something. Let me remind you of how hard it was for you to get through this part of your schooling and this part of your schooling. And then you overcame this and you overcame that. I will have that talk, but you do it with passion. You know, don't act like a wallflower, like you're half dead. Nobody will believe you anyway. They don't. You're not convincing. You have to motivate and inspire people. And now the next one, queen, the third one on the list. Let me get really detailed with you here. A queen inherits the position by the right of her birth. Now, by the way, you can all be queens because you have a God-given birthright to be a queen. And they are the most powerful in the chess game. The queen is the most powerful little piece, and they can move everybody and anybody no matter what. The queen can rule the entire chessboard. And if you're the queen of your household, the queen of your life, and you're running the whole chessboard, like I did, I told everybody, sit down and shut up and behave, because I'm the queen. Okay? And if you don't want to be the queen, you're going to hate your life. You don't have a choice. It's part of the wardrobe. Somebody has to be ruling the roost. And guess what? The feminine power is the one that does it. The masculine power finds it safe to be under the wing of the queen. The king is ruling the kingdom because the queen is turning his head, telling him which way to go and what to do and what not to do. You have to, as the feminine energy, guide the king and say, okay, we can't do that. We're going to have too much famine on the lands. Nobody will be able to eat. Okay, well, guess what I just told everybody? You want to keep having the nice lifestyle we have, don't fuck with my TV show. It is how we build our business. It's a big tool in our business. You like our lifestyle and the financial comfort that we have? Shut up and sit down and behave. Don't you dare get in the way of our success. Everybody behave right now. You have to tell people that, because I told my son after I got done being a wallflower as a single mother and was too afraid to even be considered a bad mom for yelling and spanking. One day the doctor said, you're going to have to yell and spank. He's fallen apart at the pieces. He's fallen apart. Go home and yell and spank. I did. He turned out perfect the next day. The doctor goes, keep doing it. Oh my God, I've never seen such a well-behaved child. Keep yelling and spanking. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be this woman. This is not the woman I wanted to be. I don't want to be a yelling, spanking mother. This sucks. I hate this job. And she said, too bad. You're going to have to do it. It's the only thing that works. You tried all the other behavior modification program. You went and you talked to 3 different psychologists and 3 different doctors, and he put your son on a behavior mod program and he didn't follow it. It didn't work. None of it worked. He is going to end up dead, or you're going to both be dead if you don't get your act together. Yell and hit. And I'm like, oh, dear God. To me, it was a nightmare. I'm like, isn't that illegal? She goes, I'll write you a prescription for it. I had a prescription to spank my son so that CPS couldn't take him away. Although he didn't ever report me to CPS, and he wasn't going to get anywhere with his father either, because his father would have said, let me give you a good reason to call CPS before you call them. So we agreed on that, both his father and I. And of course, we never really injured him. Okay. Obviously, there was no bruises, there was no broken bones. So I'm not talking about hurt. And again, that was the last ditch effort. I didn't want to have to do any of that. But if that's the only thing that's working after you've tried 10 other things, if not 50 other things, oh, well, you have to do what you have to do. I literally had 3 different doctors, 3 different psychiatrists, everybody. And they were like, the old fashioned is what works with this kid. Too bad. You're going to have to be that person. Because I wanted to be the soft speaking, gentle. And they're like, you're Sicilian Italian. Who's soft speaking in your family? I'm like, nobody, but I thought I'd reinvent the wheel. They're like, no, you got the kid that you can handle. Now be you. And I'm like, oh, okay. So see, my real point here is don't try to become me. That's not my point. I'm not telling you, oh, become a screaming, hitting Sicilian Italian woman. No, I'm telling you to be you. Be all of you and make no apologies for it. Be the queen that you are. And by the way, queens in most cultures, you have to be married to be a queen. So you're a princess until you get married. Don't just date somebody and then live with them, give them the milk, but don't make them buy the cow. There are so many legal things that are available to you of protections. And it's also a whole different relationship. You think that it's just a piece of paper, but try it. And you'll see that it's way different when you're married versus not. I'm not even going to go on. I could go on 10 years for that topic. And a queen is in service to all of her subjects. So although you might be the one saying, sit down, shut up, and behave, you're also the one working your ass to make sure you serve all of your family, all of the subjects. You are the hardest working one. Yes, you are. Just own it. You know, you can do somersaults and cartwheels around any man you know, and you know it, because the feminine energy is different. I'm not saying it's better, because it's not better. We need the masculine energy, for crying out loud. We need the man who has the deep voice, who sits there and goes, yeah, no, don't do that. And that's all he has to do, and everybody listens. Meanwhile, we're doing somersaults and cartwheels and standing upside down on our head to get them to listen to us. So I don't know. I think they got the better thing, but we're not going to compare, because we're just going to just love who we are and what we are and what we have, and just be good with it. Stop trying to be somebody who you're not. Just be who you were created as. God made you a woman if you're a woman. God made you a man if you're a man. Just be who you are and embrace it, because there's tons of power in both the masculine energy and the feminine energy. But the queen is the one that guides the king. And not only is she in service to everyone, She adorns herself with self-care. She's delegated to teams. She's got a team. She's built a team and she's delegated, and she compensates her team members wisely. She compensates her team. She doesn't treat her team bad. A good queen treats everyone really good and is very fair. But she also expects everybody to toe the line, and she's going to toe the line too. So she's an excellent leader, but one that's compassionate and caring and loving. And you would never talk mean or hit if you also didn't give them 20,000 times more love than yelling or hitting. Okay, you cannot yell or hit unless you spend tons of time loving on them, hugging them, holding them, telling them that they're the best thing since the best person in the world and no one can replace them in your life. You must balance that. Okay, I knew that in order to become that yelling and spanking mom, I now was going to be reading books together at bedtime. And we had a book every night, and we spent 1 hour reading books and imagining the fairy tale in our mind. And then we would pray and hug and kiss. And then we had play dates scheduled. We had library day, we had pool night, and we had family day on Sunday where we got to pick something fun to do. So 80% of your time is loving on them, hugging them, telling them that they are incredible and look at how good you're doing. 20% is done on correction. If you don't have the proper balance with your marriage, because you got to tell your partner when they're acting out, but if you don't give them 80% of your energy of love, nurturing, and whatever they need from you, because most of your kings, they need to be fed the way they like to be fed, fucked the way they want to be fucked, and they want to be not nagged. They do not want you to just always complain and tell them whatever that you're mad about. They want to hear positive affirmations, and they only want 3 things. The kings. The queens, we have a laundry list 25 miles long. We've got like 100 things that you have to do for us to make us happy, but that the king, they've only got about 3. Now the thing is, if you give your king, and your king might even be a woman, okay, it's about the masculine and feminine energy. It's not about like what your body parts are. Okay, so maybe in your marriage, maybe you're the woman, but maybe you're more like the king, and maybe your husband is more like the queen. Who knows what you guys are doing? Do whatever you want to do. Just figure out who's going to have that feminine energy and who's going to have that masculine to make it work. Because at the end of the day, that's really what's happening. Even if both people look exactly the same, or you think, oh, they're both men, or they're both women, or they're both masculine, or they're both feminine. I don't know how this works. Well, it's about personalities. It's about style. It's about what you care more about. Like if you're more emotional, usually the king is not quite as emotional on some things, but then is on other things. Okay. The masculine energy is very emotional on very private things, but will not show it to the public. Only the queen gets to see the king's emotion. Okay. And so as the queen, not only are you putting together your teams and treating them really good and serving them, you're also making sure that you're served and that your self-care time is there, that all the things that you need are taken care of. So if you're a business owner, then you're going to make sure you're going to start putting team players in place. Now, for any of you who are listening to me going, that just doesn't make sense in my world, that's not relevant. It's me, myself, and I'm a one-woman show. I don't have a spouse. I don't have any children. I don't have any family members that are still living. You know, you can still build a team. It takes time and effort. Things don't happen overnight. You're going to be working toward these things. This conversation that we're going to have in a second when we go into the interactive room, and the things that I just said today, they're going to be with you for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And some of them you're going to be like 10 years later, you're going to be going, I've got it all figured out and everything is working nicely. Others of you, you're going to have it all working nicely in 6 months. Some of you 12 months, some of you 2 years, 3 years. You know, some of the things I'm currently succeeding at right now, it was seeds that were planted 10 years ago for me, and some of them 20 years ago. Okay. Because once you start putting your little nuggets together of what you're working toward, now you work toward it. And that's why number 2, warrior, The word experienced is in there. You're an experienced soldier or fighter. You're experienced at warfare, and you're brave and courageous. You're not running away from problems. You're not trying to escape life. Instead, you're not trying to avoid conflict. In fact, you step into it and you fix it. You become the equalizer. You equalize it. You get rid of it. You make the conflict vanish. That's what you do. So if you want to be just a quiet little person who doesn't speak your mind, and I'm not talking about having to be loud. Maybe for you, quiet is not talking and loud is talking. Okay. You don't literally have to be like me, be loud like volume wise, but you have to find your personal unique voice, the one that's dying to come out of you. Allow your voice to come out and be the goddess warrior queen, and you will have all your goals achieved. Now, am I saying you're going to have to change as a person in order to get what you want? Yes, you have to change as a person to get a different life. If you like the life you're having right now, then just keep doing what you're doing and you're going to be just fine because you'll just keep having what you have right now. But if you want something in your life to change, then you're going to have to change something about yourself. And I've given you a very large buffet of choices today of what you can choose from. All right. So with that said, I want to thank you for coming into our show. I'm going to close it out and I'm going to go into the interactive room with all of you who are live that are staying with us. And we're going to have a conversation about some of this stuff. And then our next show is going to be June 20th. And it's the art of sex. And by the way, you will have never, ever heard it done the way I will be doing this show. And what I talk about, you will not be expecting. So please be ready and come in with an open mind. And no, it is not rated R. It is actually rated G. So if you're like, oh my God, my ears might fall off. She's already used the F-bomb 3 times or 10 times today. No, it's not going to be what you expect, but it also will have some spice in there. So if you're looking for spice, you will get some spice, but you're going to get what's important. And I will be channeling it, of course. And the reason why we're waiting till June 20th is because our birthdays are coming up. My birthday is June 8th. My wife's birthday is June 15th. We both take the week off for our birthday. So that's why we have a little space of time. And then I'll be in Chicago, Illinois, the first weekend coming up real soon here. Tinley Park, Illinois, for those of you who are in that area. I'll be speaking at the Body, Mind, Spirit Expo on Saturday, and I'll have my booth for 2 days doing readings and healings and enrolling people in our academy and in our agency. Okay, so thank you for tuning in today. Come back again June 20th for the Art of Sex for New York's Divine Channel. You can have it all. All right, so going to remember where the